My name is Matt Quayle, and my first musical endeavor was in the church choir at age 6. The music industry, started to struggle in the early 2000s, and I had done, fairly well in it, and now it was starting to change, and I was looking around for something else, and so I decided to move from New York to Los Angeles with this sort of vague idea of getting into film and TV music. And here I am in Los Angeles. I meet some people. I ended up getting hired to work on a TV show called Cold Case with a great composer named Michael Levine. And that's where it started for me. That was in 2006. And then I, through Michael, met Cliff Martinez, a really great film composer. And I started working with him. To date, I've done maybe 12 films with Cliff, and yeah, really some really great stuff. Drive, Contagion, Lincoln Lawyer. It's been really great working with Cliff. Scream Queens was created by Ryan Murphy, and I worked on a film with Cliff Martinez that Ryan directed called The Normal Heart, and through that project began a relationship with Ryan and his team, and so when they were looking to go in a different direction with another Ryan Murphy show, American Horror Story, I got a call and said, would I want to submit some music for it? And this was just over a year ago. So I wrote some music, one piece of music basically, and they hired me the next day. And so I did the season 4 of American Horror Story Freak Show, and then they tell me that they have a new show in development, Scream Queens, and wanted me to do the music for that. So that's pretty much how it happened. It was decided pretty early on that we wanted it to be a very synthesizer-driven score, and so through the magic of computers, I've got a million virtual instruments that I can use to create sound, and so that's pretty much the cornerstone of the Scream Queen sound. There's one instrument in it which is based on a real instrument, which is a harpsichord. And it's a sample of a harpsichord, but it's like kind of the only instrument in the show that is not synthetic.
Gotcha. Now, when you approached American Horror Story, what was the vibe of that particular soundtrack?
Well, Horror Story is an anthology series. Each season is different. Last season, season 4, Freak Show, the sound was again using the technology, but not so overtly electronic sound. It was meant to be more organic. Piano was a big instrument, cello, strings. There was a circus type of theme with the story, so there's circus instruments, calliopes, and music boxes, and various things. So it was almost all of it created electronically, but it didn't sound quite electronic. Certainly not like Scream Queens. I mean, here's one of the early cues that I wrote, and ended up being a sort of a pretty well defining a lot of the sound of the show. all electronic, vaguely bell-like sound, but the rest is just synthesizer tones that I thought would give the feeling that was needed.
Now, when you did these, did you do a body of work, like submit songs? Did you have a scene in mind, or did they give you a story, a backstory per episode, or how did you come about, compiling the music for the show?
Well, there was conversations early on about ideas for what it should sound like, and so based on those conversations, I went and sat down with scenes that they had sent me, and wrote music. And then I sent in the music, got feedback, and revised it, and wrote more music.
Got you. So then, with Scream Queens, you kind of had the you had the ability to set the tone for the whole show because of the new show versus American Horror Story you gave it on season 4, which already had a theme and a setup. So with that, how did American Horror Story evolve as far as like you coming in on a show that's already been established, even established musically? Did you just kind of like not listen to what they had before and start it fresh, or did you kind of take things from what they had with them?
Well, because it's an anthology series, Horror Story, it changes everything every season. So the music was not going to be like it had been before. So it was a fresh approach to just do something, do something new. And similar to Scream Queens, there was conversations initially about what people were imagining that it should sound like, and then based on those conversations, I wrote music, submitted it, got feedback, wrote more music, and it just evolved like that.
Now, with American Horror Story, were you influenced by any way with the presence of Lady Gaga into the show? Like, did that just like give you like a different vibe or a different approach that you would, if normally she wouldn't be on the show?
I mean, I wasn't really influenced musically. I mean, I was certainly excited that she's on the show, and just have been so pleased with the work that she's done. I think she's a great actress. But the musical direction that we've decided to take with it, I believe, kind of had a life of its own. It wasn't really centered around the fact that she is one of the main characters. So I guess the short answer could be I was just influenced by excitement. I was excited that she's on the show. My name is Matt Quayle, and I've just been buzzed.